What is this video about? It's about my perspective. I guess I'll start off with that title, my perspective, because that's just what it is. Subject matter. It's a bit old topic, but I felt like I needed to touch on it anyways. Well, anyways, the subject is meat in the grocery stores. So why do I bring this up? Well, all over TikTok, other YouTube videos, what have you, we have many people complaining about the meat they need to purchase in the stores. This, I'll call it Franken meat. Whether it's, supposedly chicken or even a generic form of it, like a processed vegan style. Anyways, for one, I'll explain this maybe in a later video. If you're going to eat any meat substitute, I don't really recommend it, but to each his own, do what you want. You might as well just be eating the real thing because of the chemical inside of the product of these artificial meat products. But let's get back on the meat in the grocery stores. Yes, we don't know where the meat comes from. You cannot trust anybody. You can get sick. And things can be added without your knowledge to your meat, even modified. So rather than going home and opening up a package of chicken or your steak or whatever it is and playing with it on camera and saying, well, this is supposed to be meat. This isn't meat. Look what they did. They stitched it together. These are fragments of meat. Or whatever it is. You might assume that you're being poisoned. And you may assume right. But here's what it boils down to. You do not have to eat these products. I mean, we are really relying on people to ship in our food. And this is bad when you have like just a type of demographic of people that are relying on another type of people to bring them everything they need. Now, I do know it's nobody's fault because a lot of us were born into this. But now we must find a way to break free from this and realize that if we're not controlling our own resources or food supply, whatever it is, you are going to be falling victim to whoever's supplying your items wants to do to you. That's just the way it's going to be. So basically, what I'm saying is like, if you cannot, gather your own food, if you want to continue to eat meat, I know a lot of us shouldn't, but that's my business. I'm not going to get in anybody else's. But if you want to eat meat, maybe the best way, well, I know the best way would be to hunt it yourself. You have to just take out the animal and just eat the animal yourself. Don't let nobody just bring you scraps of meat, like some kind of dog that we've been, for the time that we've been. The dog getting scraps of meat thrown at us and we're eating it, well packaged for us in the stores. I think now, since we're having this awakening, all things need to be realized. Nothing to really complain about as far as like, oh, we're not getting food, we're not getting the... Listen, just pick yourself up if you're able. If you're not able, it's unfortunate. And I apologize for coming this way, as to what I'm about to say, which is move, relocate. The best advice I can give for relocating after this COVID lockdown stuff went down way back when, it gave people these opportunities to work from home. Some call it a digital nomad. If you can work from home and can make a way to not go in to the workplace like you have been, you can take that occupation and you can just travel and you can find somewhere to live where you don't have to deal with that. The tampering of your meat or your food or your water. As far as the air goes, it really depends on where you go, because even here where I am right now, they spray after the summer season ends. It's constant until around like ending of fall, and then summer comes back in, and then you have it, but you have less. But then it's something that like certain areas won't allow it. I know Mexico is one of those places where like allegedly they no longer spray, but who knows? It could change tomorrow. Anything could change tomorrow. Anything is subject to change. But yeah, back on this meat topic. So just don't eat it. I mean, if the meat is being messed with, try to find a way to wean yourself off of it. Try to do a cleanse, parasite cleanse. Because if you're craving meat, you got parasites. If your stomach is bulging out, just even a little bit, you got parasites. If you're craving anything savory, salty, or it doesn't always mean you have parasites. You could be like mineral deficient. But for most of us, we have parasites. Me personally, I implement something called wormwood herb into my diet. I consume this like about 3 times throughout the day. You know, during your rising, midday, and not quite before bed, but like around dinner time. Maybe before or after dinner, I'll consume the wormwood for my 3rd time. Make sure you're flushing your body with water constantly. Not too much though. The reason why the detox for me is important, because this will help take away your cravings from this meat, and you'll begin to like crave it less. You'll eat more fruits and vegetables. You can cook your vegetables. You can cook some of them, especially mushrooms, like meat, so you can kind of still slowly wean yourself off of that. You don't have to take away everything, but you know, you don't have to be vegan or whatever, like I went. But what you can do is like get that meat pulled up out of there. Get that out of there, because you don't know what they're giving you. And I don't even think we, if you know what I mean, should be even eating that stuff. If you're a bodybuilder, if you're lifting weights, you're working out, you want a big bulging muscles, you have to go and get meat. Maybe you can go to the market where they actually butcher the meat. I'll say it like that because that's what it is, they butcher it. Maybe you go to a market. You can get it like have your meats prepared there. Yes, it's gonna be a bit more expensive, but don't just go to a grocery store and thinking you're picking meat out. One grocery store I will recommend that we have in the States is Aldi's. That one I do know is it's a store from Europe, from what I have observed. A lot of their products are gonna be much better than you're gonna find in your local grocery store, where you're picking up this meat and you're looking at it and it looks crazy and you don't know what it is. It looks gross. I don't know what I don't even know why people are still even craving this stuff. It's just dead flesh, y'all. It's just dead. It's no energy flowing through this thing. Maybe organ meats. I don't even know. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But like I said, if you're not bodybuilding, there's really no reason unless you're feeding a craving. It depends on your blood type. It depends on your phenotype. It depends on your ethnic type. Some people need actually to consume meat. It's beneficial for them. And some of us do not need to consume this, if you know what I'm talking about. Protein, there's a lot of talk about protein. I don't consume animal protein. Actually, I generate my own protein. Everybody generates their own protein. But yeah, if you're not gonna catch your own, don't eat it. I mean, it's easy. Like, if you're sitting somewhere and you're just hanging out, and I know nothing against people smoking cigarettes, because I used to smoke myself. If you're sitting somewhere and somebody's smoking cigarettes around you, and it's like, yo, you're sitting there and the smoke is hitting you all in the face, you're gonna get up and you're gonna move. And you're gonna relocate to another area. So you're not getting smoke all in your face, inhaling all in your lungs. You let them do what they want, you do what you have to do. Same thing with the meat. You don't have to eat the meat. And if you do want to eat the meat, like I said, if you can relocate, you might be in an area where you might not have access to the food that you require. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's just the way it is for a lot of us. Some of us are in these condos, these projects. Shoot, I tried to grow watermelon one time. And right in front, we have that little nice garden in front of your door. Had it all planted there, but since it's not mine, I don't own it. The condo association came, they saw the plant growing, they ripped it all up and put in flowers that they look nice, but they weren't edible plants. But they knew what that was because before they ripped up the watermelon plant, I seen them having a little conversation with each other outside of the window, looking down at the plant, talking to each other, looking down at the plant, like they knew what it was and what was going on. And so they just ripped it up. So that might, long story short, my point is, you might not have the opportunity, or you just it might not be available to you to be able to either grow your own food or hunt your own meat. So sometimes relocating is the best way, or just stop eating meat altogether. I don't know what else to tell you. If you're saying, hey, they're poisoning us, if you eat it, it's like saying, I don't know. Again, it's the same thing goes with the cigarette thing I just said. They're poisoning us. If you don't like what's being done, you kind of just remove yourself from the situation. If you don't like what's being done to the meat, you kind of just don't even touch the meat. I don't even touch meat when I go into grocery stores. Just looking at it now, I get nauseous. And what I learned about it also, it's not all red and fresh the way it looks. It's actually dyed and chemicals added to it. Meat is usually brownish gray when it's dead, and it looks like it's just dead flesh, just rotting flesh. If you want to complain about it, if you share a similar ethnic background as I do, just stop eating it. And if you think you cannot, try to detox, try to deworm your body, because that's what that is. It's parasites that make you crave this stuff. This day and age right now, this timeline that we're in, right now, I don't understand why anybody would even want to consume just all this meat. I just don't get it. But just do what's best for you. If you feel you want to continue to consume it, go ahead. Just don't complain too much about it if you're not the one supplying it to yourself. How are you going to complain about somebody bringing you tainted meat when you're not doing it yourself? Don't eat what they're bringing you. Go out there and shoot some rabbits or something, or some deer, whatever you got to do. Or hunt. I'll just say hunt. Go hunt your own food. Go hunt your own meat. If you're not doing that, there's no reason to complain about it. Now, as far as living environment, that'll be another video. That's a little different. That's a bit different. But you should not really have to worry about the meat, being the way it is. Just don't eat it. Or go catch your own. As a matter of fact, that might even change your whole outlook on consuming meat if you have to hunt your own meat. If you have to catch it, you have to hunt it down and catch it, you have to skin it, gut it, and let it bleed out and all this other stuff. You might even become a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever. Whatever these definitions are. The one that makes you not want to consume flesh of an animal. There's so many titles and names for these things, and they're all confusing. But anyways, catch your own meat, or don't complain when somebody brings you something that's tainted. Oh, they're bringing us poison meat. Look what they're doing to our meat. Our meat. It was never your meat in the first place. They caught it. They're bringing it into you. It might have worms, maggots in there. It's rotting. They clean the maggots off. They hose it down. They dip it in chemical. They put it in storage. You eat it. The meat falls apart. They're stitching it together. You're complaining about it. Well, stop complaining about it and get the hell up out of there. Go catch your own meat, or relocate to a place where they don't do that. Bring tainted meat to you. And like I said, if you're fortunate enough to be a digital nomad, now's the time. Relocate to somewhere you can afford, work from home, and be happy and change your life. Change it up. That's what I did. I did what I had to do. Remove yourself from the situation. You remove yourself from somebody smoking around you. Remove yourself from the situation. Yeah, I might complain a bit and then move. Hey, you know what? Do that as well. But at least change it on yourself. Don't just complain and sit in a situation expecting somebody to make it better for you so you can become comfort in that zone and not have to move forward with growth and expansion. So if you're complaining about meat, stop eating the meat. I'm gonna leave it at that. Take your damn power back. Quit whining. That's all I'm gonna say. Quit whining, take your damn power back. You wanna connect with other people that are trying to do this? Connect. I'm over here. I'm gonna post this video on my page. I'll put it on YouTube. Yeah, I'll put it on my YouTube page. So if you wanna know more about this, we could have more in-depth conversation. I just felt this video was very necessary. So anyways, I'm out. I'll talk to y'all later. Love, light, peace, power. Take your power back. Peace.